Oh no, we're laughing already. What is so funny? I love you. Welcome to She Sells Radio. You might imagine, if you're listening to this, if you're watching the video, you see this angel face here with me as he referenced himself the other day on a team call. But if not, if you're listening, I have the most incredible, most popular guest on She Sells Radio, Jason Thomas Robustelli, in the house with me today. How are you, babe?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, I think we have to speak into the mic a little.
Here, this is better. I'm fantastic. Thank you.
You know, anytime I have Jason on the show, that's when I get texts from women that are like, that episode was the best one. That, like, you are the most popular guest.
The most popular.
He's going to literally hold his mouth to the mic the whole time now. We actually need 2 mics for this.
Turn your volume down on your car.
I think Jason may be a regular guest of the show, partially because I need content ideas now that we're doing daily. Okay, here's what we're talking about today. We are talking about how to get your partner to support your vision. And so I wanted to bring Jason in here for this conversation because
I'm supporting your vision.
Well, yes, this is true. You're supporting my vision. And I get what it's okay. I know. Thank you, sweetheart. I get what it's like when you have this big vision, and that involves doing things that may have been out of the comfort zone for the old version of you in your couple, right? So whether that's you suddenly you feel inspired that you want to like travel around the world with this mastermind, or you want to invest a certain amount in your business or in a coach, and your partner may not always get it. In fact, often they won't, right? And so we've had to kind of navigate that ourselves in our own relationship. And we're going to talk. I think you've always been very supportive, but I also think we've navigated some things and figured some stuff out together that maybe the listeners can benefit from. So that sound good, babe? You want to talk about that?
I really hope so.
Like at this point, if we haven't. Okay. So this is what this was inspired by. So we just last week opened up doors for the 50K Club, which I'm so excited about. This is like I love this group of women so much. It's my high level mastermind for women who are already at the 6-figure level and want to scale to 50K months or beyond. And I've been having these amazing conversations with amazing women. And I'm also hearing conversations and hearing some of the things they're telling themselves about why their partner won't support their vision, why their partner's afraid of them investing in themselves, all of the things, right? And so I wanted to pop on and just speak to that directly. And this applies, like I said at the beginning, in so many ways, whether you're wanting to invest in a coach, invest in a mastermind, invest in a team member, invest in a new wardrobe. I don't know what it is, or invest in housekeeping, right? Jason said, yeah, I mean, that one changed our relationship. That's a must. You absolutely must have housekeeping help. And like, if you want a happy marriage or relationship,
invest in people to just take care of you.
I mean, yes.
All the time.
I'm not sure what that entails, but so, I wanted to come on and speak to this today because I've been having a lot of individual conversations with women about this over this past week, but I thought as a collective, we could talk about this, and it might also be helpful for you to hear a man's perspective in terms of how we navigated that when I came to you and said, hey, babe, I'm about to invest way more than I have right now for this up level in my life. So I'll tell a little bit of my own story. We'll speak to some things that you can use if you have a partner who is not fully supportive yet of your vision or of you investing in yourself or whatever that is. So I'm going to do a bit of talking, then I'm going to loop you in. Is that cool?
I'll be right here.
Okay. Thank you. I can't make any guarantees about this conversation today. I told him right before this podcast, I was like, I feel like I could crawl back in bed and sleep for like 8 hours. So I think my literal words were, I want to go be a bed bug right now.
I'm limiting my answers to 2-word sentences.
No, people want to hear from you way more than me. Trust me, they do.
I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Let me try to get something decent out before I turn it over to you. What was I going to say? Okay, here's the first thing. This is the first, and I want you to check in on this for yourself. do you need to, like, is any of your energy, I need to ask for permission? Because anytime I hear a woman say that, immediately for me, that's a red flag that she's giving her power away. And one, either she doesn't want to do it, but she doesn't want to say it, like she doesn't want to say it to my face or to somebody's face, whoever's she's talking to about buying something. She's like, oh, let me pass the buck and say, well, I got to go ask for permission from so-and-so. I don't ask for permission for things. Like, it's your money. It's your, if you're already an entrepreneur, it's your business. Now, I'm not saying that we don't discuss things. And I also get it if maybe you're not an entrepreneur, maybe you're in sales, and you have a shared pot of money with your partner. Like, I get it. I understand. But so every couple has different money rules. I respect whatever your money rules are, but I also want you to check in on, do you actually have to ask for permission? Because if any bit of you is in that energy, that's very much little girl energy, and your guy is going to shut it down. Like, we'll talk about why that is in a moment. But so check in, like, am I just passing the buck because I don't really want to do something, but I don't want to be in my power and say it? Or do I really feel like I have to ask for permission? And if so, what's that dynamic in our relationship where I feel like I have to ask for permission in order to, I want you to like actually say something instead of nodding your head here. Cause I feel like what do you think about this? Like, from a man's perspective, if I came to you and I was like, I need to ask for your permission to do something, what would your reaction be? You can use more than 2 words for this.
Well, first, you wouldn't
I would
say,
never.
I need your permission.
That's true. But if I did,
That's a no-go right there.
yeah.
What is a go is you would sneakily work it into the conversation and say, hey, I was thinking about doing this one coaching thing or business thing, or that you kind of diminish what you talk about to make it not a big deal. And then you say, I'm not really sure about it, but what would you think if I did
I would never. You think I would say that?
No, I'm saying if you're in that kind of energy.
Oh, because please
what
don't
I
tell
would
them
do.
to do that. Oh, that's like
No.
a covert way of asking for permission. Is what you're saying.
You cover it up.
Okay, I was like,
throw a black blanket on it. No.
Okay.
No, I'm not telling you to.
I get what you're saying.
That.
So even in that, and what you're saying, even in that energy, like, that is covertly asking for permit. Like, what do you think? I was kind of like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
You asked for my opinion on things, and here it is.
Okay. Thanks, babe.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Oh gosh, I need more caffeine. Okay, so I wanted to share a bit of my own experience. So a while back, when I decided I was really done playing small in my life. And so you may have heard this story if you've listened to the podcast for a while, or if you're new, welcome. And you may not know this story, you can check out, I forget what episode it is. I actually don't think it has a number. I think it's around episode 100. But it's called like Special Episode, The Decision That Changed My Life, if you want to hear more of this story. But essentially, I reached a point in my life where I'd done the 6-figure thing. I had created a good but not great life in many ways. We were comfortable. We were quote unquote happy. And we had a vision for much more in our lives that, when I was talking with these women at a roundtable I hosted last week, for women who are already at the 6-figure level and ready for more, like, when you hit that level, and everyone's money rules are different, everyone needs a different amount for their lifestyle. So I'm not about making blanket statements, but often when you hit that level, you thought that was going to be it. And then you realize, okay, I can like kind of almost pay my bills at this level, but I'm still saying no to the life I want. I'm still saying no to the travel I want. I'm still not donating at the level I want. I'm not getting the house that I want. And so you realize there's this whole nother level that's needed for you to really like step into that big epic vision of your life. And so I had reached that point, and it wasn't convenient timing. Our son was 4 months old. We were kind of navigating that. I thought, yeah, he was young at the time.
I mean,
he's still young, but he was younger. Okay. Anyway, I know, because I've told the story. So our son was 4 months old. We were in new parent mode. And yet I felt so called that it was time to step up and up level our lives and finally say yes to the vision. And it was kind of this, you just have those moments sometimes, right? Where you're like, if not now, when? And we realized too that at least in my own experience, I realized how much I was hiding behind other people and waiting for someone else to give me permission to say yes, to go for what I wanted. And it was just this moment of like, there's no one coming to give me permission. I'm the only one who can give me permission. And I decided in that moment that it was time that I was going to do whatever it took to break out of this really comfortable but small rut I've been in for a long time and go to the next level. And so for me in that moment, and we always, when we make that decision, there will be a path made, there will be a mentor will appear, a program will appear, a something will appear where it's like, the timing of this is not a coincidence. And I know I'm meant to take action on it. And it will often really involve you stretching out of your comfort zone. So of course that happened for me. Like the very next day after I made that decision, it's a longer story that I'm going to tell here today, but essentially I feel super called to work with a particular coach, find out the rate to work with her. It's $50,000 for 6 months. I had made like a little over 100 the year before. And in that moment, it was a little bit of like oh shit, I don't cuss a lot on the podcast, but it was a little bit of that type of like,
Why the fuck not?
we really don't use that word on the podcast. Well, we did today.
I'm almost sorry.
That just escalated really fast.
3-word sentences.
No word sentences for you anymore. We really don't try. Actually, I have had guests drop F-bombs. I personally do not use that word, but I respect everybody's choice, including yours.
Okay, $50,000. You're spending it. What's happening?
Yeah. Okay. So I feel super called to invest this in myself. And I didn't have the money sitting around. But here's what happens is you will always have what you need to get started. You usually won't have the full amount. Otherwise, it's not really that stretch in that up level. Sometimes you will. But you'll have what you need to get started. So what I had to get started was I had enough room on a credit card to pay the $20,000 deposit. And it actually took me 3 days to come to you and tell you that, because I don't know if you knew this, but it took me 3 days because I knew how important my energy was in coming to you. That if I came to you in scared energy, if I came to you in fear energy, you would have felt scared and fearful as well.
There's about to be another F-bomb down here.
Please. Why?
I didn't know these things.
You didn't know these things?
No, things you find out in public when you shouldn't.
I waited 3 days. And because I had studied enough of like the psychology of men and I knew about my energy around you and how much it mattered, that I knew how to come to you, but I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't vibrationally ready yet.
Yeah, she read the book I wrote.
Oh, which book is that?
The Book of Me.
The Book of Me. Wow.
How to Handle Jay.
Okay, we have less than 10 minutes, so we gotta get to the point.
You gotta stop talking then.
I have to make a point, and then I want to turn it over to you.
Point.
Okay, so when I came to you, sweetie, and I want you to listen to my language, ladies. I told you what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an ask. It was, babe, here's what, and this is probably not exactly it, but it was like, here's what's going on. I have this vision for our lives. And I shared with you the vision. You know, I've had this vision for a while. And I've just been given an opportunity that I know in my core is going to help us create that together. And I said something like, I know it doesn't make logical sense. I know it may feel like a big investment, but I know in my core that this is what I need to do right now. And I need to ask you for your support. Here's how I've thought through how it's going to work. Here's what I'm prepared to do. And I need to ask you for your support in this. Can you do that?
Yes.
I mean, it was honestly in my head, I built it up to such a big thing, but it was really a 5-10 minute conversation. It was pretty brief. I remember we were sitting on the couch. It was because we had like a few minutes in between naps with Jack at that time. But so that was it. So the energy. So here's the point I want to make, and then I want to turn it over for Jason to share non-F-bombs, but more than 3 words. Okay.
Excellent.
So if your partner is a man, and he's in his empowered masculine, his natural energy is protector, provider energy. His whole role, he wants you to be protected. He wants you to be safe. He wants you to be provided for. And so the energy that you go to him in to tell him about what you're doing is incredibly important. If you come to him in your empowered energy, this is why this is important. This is how I've thought it through. This is what it means for us. And I need to ask for your support. I'm asking for your support. He will hear it much differently. And again, if he's in his empowered masculine, he'll want to find a way to support you in it, even if he's got to kind of work through some of his own head gunk. Versus if you come to him and you're like, if you have any bit of fear, even like subconsciously, if this stuff is showing up in your conversation, if you have any bit of fear, if you have any bit of little girl energy, it doesn't matter. You could have the best opportunity in the world on your plate. He's going to pick up on your fear, and he's going to pick up on that little bit of uncertainty, and he's going to shut it down, because his job is to protect and to provide. And so we have to know this when we speak to our partners about our vision, because otherwise it's like the whole thing can go in a different direction and derail if we're not aware of what we're working with. So I'm going to turn it over to you to share your thoughts from the man's. Oh, I want to say one other thing. One of the, sorry, I promise you'll have at least 3 minutes to talk. I've been speaking with a lot of women over this past week whose partners have their own wealth consciousness stuff they've got to work through. And we all do. The wealth consciousness journey has been such a big part of my journey, because I had so much head trash about it for so long. And that's why I teach it now, because I think it's so important. So I get it to have scarcity mindset. I get it to have lack mindset. I get it to be in fear about money. I mean, you came from a different type of background too, where I think both of us have had to like really work on our wealth consciousness, but you may have a partner who hasn't done that work yet. And your partner may have come from a poor upbringing. Your partner may come from lack. Your partner may, even if he's making money now, he still has those neural pathways of, I'll never be poor again. I'll never be in lack again. My job is to make sure we're never that again. And so everyone's on their own journey there, but you have to know where your guy is at in terms of his journey. And so share some thoughts on what I've said. What do the women need to know about speaking to their partners about supporting their vision?
Listen close.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna sit back and listen. Go ahead. This is great.
There's so many weird things going through my head right now.
I'm sure there are. Okay, let's try to give like 1 to 2 clear tips. Like
clear
1 to
tips.
2
First
clear
of
pointers
all,
or tips.
become a mind reader.
For real. What do they need to know?
In all honesty, you need to pick the time that you do it right. You can't do it while you're in heavy traffic and saying, I need to talk to you about something. That's a bad time to do it. Or when everybody's screaming and yelling around the house, or when they're really tired. You need to be in a good headspace, like having a cocktail at sunset. That's a great time to sit and chat.
And check your guy. Your guy's got to be in a good headspace.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He has to be in a good headspace. And I think when you came to me, there was other times when you came to me and say, I need your help with something. And depending on how you say it, it's true. We do want to protect you. It's a natural instinct, whether or not we're aware of it or not. It's just something that pops up. If you say, I need your support with something, that's more like saying, I need you to help shield me from things other than this. This is good. Let's protect this good thing that I've invested in. And just remember, you're not spending money when you're investing it in yourself, and it pays dividends. It gives you back in the future, because once you learn something, once you've had a shift, you can't get rid of it.
That's a good point.
It sticks with you for life. So you're making progress every time you make that shift. And then it is hard to explain to somebody the financial benefits of a coach, because it's not always, you're not always going to get the benefits right up front. You may be told something at the beginning of coaching, and by the end, you're like, oh, wow, that just made sense.
It
And then
clicks
you
in.
have a
Yeah.
really great day. Um, selling and whatnot. So, and
So how would a woman speak?
well,
Do we even need to speak about that? Or is it more like, this is speaking to me? I know I'm like, here's the vision. Like, do we need to explain the financial benefits, or what do you think?
no, you don't need to explain the financial benefits. I don't think that at all, because I wasn't thinking about the financial benefits. I was thinking about I need to support the person that I love. So, I think that's important to me, to be supportive of her, but you also need to give support back.
Mm.
Because people learn better from the example of what you do rather than what you say you do. Because if you don't follow through what you're saying you do, then it's a bad example and people don't believe you. That's just how it goes.
So you got to support your man's vision
I
too.
follow people that have great work ethic.
Mhm.
I believe in her because I see what she does every single day.
And super quick, so we got like I apologize for cutting out. We got like 1 or 2 minutes. And I'd love to have a moment to talk about what would have happened if we hadn't done that. We're going to do a whole separate episode about
I'll
that.
tell
But
you
like,
what
why
would
we're
have
glad.
happened if we hadn't done it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want a man's perspective? Well, I wouldn't have grown myself. There's a lot of benefits for you growing, to me growing, to our child growing. So it's, the money aside, the money, you're not going to be out on the street doing something like spending 50K on coaching. If you are, don't spend the 50K on coaching.
If it's going to put you on, yeah, like
if it's
is
going to
gonna
put you
me
on the street,
Yeah.
be financially smart. If you can do it and it's stretchy and it's scary to do it, which it will be, spending 50K is scary, but you're not just investing it, but you're investing portions of the 50K oftentimes. If you just can't just drop a big cash bomb on somebody, which is what
I love it when people drop big
because
cash bombs. Okay, we got like 1 minute, so
people will drop them on you too. But
yeah,
just have that in your mind. Like this could also be a write-off on taxes. Like think about it logically and emotionally. Like this is going to feel good when I do spend it, when I do invest this. See, I even have to work on my
we all
language
get to work
there.
on it. Yeah,
But it feels good to invest in yourself, especially when things start working.
Yep.
And let the results speak for themselves.
Yes, I love that. I'll add one thing and then we're gonna wrap for today. This was good, babe.
Boom.
Your brain will go to worst case scenario. That's how it's wired. That's the animal survival instinct. That's part of how we're all wired. You've got to consciously ask, what's the best that could happen for us? And we'll actually do a whole separate episode about what happened. And I mean, I can't imagine life if we hadn't, but I also know the fear on the front end and what that feels like. So everyone, give Jason some love on social. I mean, you're not super visible.
I'm not visible yet. I'm not visible yet. You don't have to do anything for me.
But comment on the video or send me a DM. I'm at Elise Archer on all social and let us know what spoke to you about this episode. So
share it.
Share it. There you go. Share. We're always super grateful for that. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Share this with your partner, maybe. I mean, maybe that would be helpful, right? It'll spark a good conversation at least.
Play it quietly in the background so it brainwashes us slowly.
Just make sure that they're not offended by F-bombs first. Okay, this is another great episode with Jason Thomas Robustelli of She Sells Radio. Wishing you a beautiful day. And I hope this helped you. Talk to you very soon. See you.